There's something about Titans that just captures the imagination. They're the god machines of the 41st millennium, towering war engines that can level cities and change the course of entire battles. Over the years, Games Workshop has released all shapes and sizes, from the mighty warlords of the original Adeptus Titanicus game to the finely detailed Legion Imperialis kits we see today. But building a Titan collection isn't just about size, it's about dedication. My friend Simon has one of the most impressive collections that I've ever seen.
Thank you.
So, from bold, brightly painted classics of the late 90s to the moody, grim machines of the modern game, his shelves are packed with Titans and their lesser siblings, the Knights, ready for war. Today, we're going to sit down with Simon and take a look at his Titans up close, hear the story behind this incredible collection. So, when did you first get into epic scale games, and what drew you to Titans?
Epic scale games I actually got into when I returned to the island back in '95 from time in the military and off island. It was being introduced to a mutual friend of ours,
Okay.
who at that stage was playing a lot of tabletop games. I wanted to get into it, but because of being isolated in not having access to it, this was my first opportunity. And at that time, Titan Legions was just released.
Okay.
And it was that sort of the imposing imagery on the box.
This one.
That one.
Okay.
Where you have this awe-inspiring, soul-grabbing image of huge mechanical machines of destruction just going at it hammer and tong until the last one stands.
But the rest of the men, the rest of the armies look pretty amazing. Why
absolutely.
Titans?
Titans. I wanted to do something that was small yet had an amazing punch on the tabletop.
On the field, right? Okay.
And there wasn't much out there at that stage, and I had decided that I was going to be an Imperium player.
Okay.
And that was going to be my focus, and I was going to go that way, and that ended up with the Imperators, and then
Four Warlords.
Was
that from the Adeptus Titanicus box?
It was from, if I remember rightly, I picked up a copy of Space Marine afterwards because I'd come in late to Epic.
Yeah.
And Titan Legions was my initial point of entry. I then backdated myself.
I see.
From there to get Space Marine, so I could start collecting ancillary units to go with
Adeptus Titanicus, those other games.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got two of these Imperator Titans.
Yes.
From the old game. So, okay, you said you got one in the box.
Yeah.
How come you've got two?
But the Games Workshop, shortly after the release of Titan Legions, then released individual boxes of the Imperator or the Orc Mega Gargant.
Yes.
And within the box set, in the model set, you had everything you needed: the data card, the tracking card as well, that you could follow the damage inflicted.
There's a specific way you do this with kind of counters.
Counters,
you've got to choose how many to put onto which area. Your reactor creates so many. You've got to put some on your weapons.
That's it.
Some on your void shields. It's quite a complex bit of kit.
It was a lot of data management, time management.
That's the card.
That's the card.
There you go.
So yes, you have the card here that had the template, the hit locations. You would generate plasma each turn, and then you would have to allocate the plasma to the various motive forces, the weapons.
Decide if you're going to fire
and
or,
then
or shield or
shield.
move or
Yes,
whatever.
exactly.
Yep. And then that was your hit
locations, damage locations. So
magic.
Back in the days where you'd have the 2 magic dice that were up, down, and left and right.
That's right.
And you just roll them and see where it goes.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I liked about the Imperators was the fact that it was a case of you could mount an entire company of infantry.
Oh, inside it
in various locations. Yes,
in these various places.
If you had you could do a mix of ordinary guardsmen or tech or skitari, tech priests and tech marines. You could. I even at one stage put Space Marines in there as well, just for a little bit of added defense.
Okay.
But you could put ordinary guardsmen down in the leg bastions.
Yes.
You could put a heavy weapons platoon up on the top, so you have the extra range.
Up in this area,
right up on top of in the cathedral area as well.
Yeah, right.
So but unfortunately, it was one of those situations where you were putting all your eggs into one basket.
Yeah.
And so if something went wrong, well,
a lot of eggs got dropped in one go.
There was a big omelette.
Excellent. So how do you feel the design of the Titans has changed? I mean, we've got this old stuff that was, as you said to me beforehand, of its time, and now we've got this. How do you feel about the difference?
There is a lot of nostalgia for the old brightly coloured, green-based 1990s paint schemes.
Because these are of their day.
They are.
If I ever saw a set of Titans of their day, these are they.
Yes. They're instantly recognisable. And then coming back into the last 5-6 years, when the new Adeptus Titanicus has been released with the newest scale, where Games Workshop have increased the scale of the figures to make them more detailed, and the game itself had evolved almost into you have maybe 3 or 4 Titans of whatever size on your table, and that's it. You spend an awful lot of time on data management,
moving the Titans, moving the counters around inside the Titans.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. I see.
Whereas the old scale epic, they were a
part of an army.
They were part of an army, and slightly simpler to use. With the modern stuff is certainly more complex, more detailed.
Yeah.
And that shows in the scale of the figures, and they've and the work that they've done in upscaling them now to bring these Titans into the same scale as the other specialist games like Armoury Imperialis, and the new Horus Heresy
Legion Imperialis. Yeah. So out of everything we've got here, what's your favourite? Is it your original Imperators, or is it something we see over here? What's your what do you feel?
I have to say, my favourites are the old classic Imperators.
Okay.
Just because that was my first.
That was your first go.
The first go. That was my first roll of the dice in epic scale. That was what drew me into this black hole of Titans and the collection.
Excellent.
So yes, that's that. I have to say that if they were to do an upscaled version of the Imperator, and I've seen a few out there in YouTube land and what have you, where you sort of think something that's going to stand up this sort of height.
Yeah, right. For the epic scale. So when you put them on the table, what kind of game do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy just a Titan on Titan game, or do you enjoy being part of a wider battle with with a whole army, and you're just playing the Titans?
Absolutely. Well, no, I mean, in the first when I set up the Titans,
Yeah.
they were one aspect of a multi-imperial. We used to play huge battles
Yes.
on 8 foot by 4 foot or even 10 foot by 5 foot tables. And when you think that the weapon ranges on the Titans, most of them were
2 meters. A lot
of them is 2 meters.
Yeah.
Certainly a meter and a half.
Mm-hmm.
The Warlord Titans, apart from the missiles, a lot of their stuff was 75 centimeter to a meter.
Yes.
So you had a great range over the table, and it was just that you set up your army. You've got a gun line at the back of your Titans, your bastions, and then you've got artillery, you've got space marines, you've got flyers, the myriad of all the figures that were involved, and you could collect and collect and collect and never be able to field everything.
No, fair enough.
So it was more a case of, right, I need to just decide what I'm going to go for. But the old epic scale, when you played the big battles, you needed infantry to take objectives. You needed flyers to get around the board.
Right.
You needed tanks and artillery to get you to places and to hold.
So the Titans wouldn't be any use just on their own.
The Titans wouldn't be.
You had to make them part of a combined arms scenario. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as effective.
So yes, otherwise they just don't. They would take out a few things, but in the end, they were just swamped by sheer weight of numbers. If you had certain things that would come at you.
Fair enough. So one of the things I wanted to focus on was your painting style. I know we've talked about these being super bold, and these being of a more sort of subdued, but a more mature painting style, which has just evolved over time.
Absolutely.
It's what we see a lot more of today.
Yeah.
But let me just point this out: red Titans with gold trim. Red Titans with gold trim.
Yeah. There may be a slight.
There's a thing. I can see a theme.
Yes.
I can see a theme here.
Yeah.
But you were saying these are an imperial.
They're all yes. At the stage when I was playing Epic with the original figures, I was playing as an Imperial force, so Loyalist Space Marines, Imperial Guard, and Loyalist Titan Legions.
But that doesn't look very Imperial.
No, and so with the new Titanicus, I decided that I wanted to do something different, and I was almost having read the Titan Death book from the Horus Heresy series and been introduced to the Legio Volpa, who are the antagonists in that book.
Okay.
Their descent into madness and corruption by Khorne.
Yes.
That got me.
So that's
hooked.
what you've depicted here.
So that's why I've chosen Legio Volpa as my Legion colours. And yes, they may be red and gold as the original ones were, but that's the way that's the colour scheme that appealed to me.
So I noticed you've got a couple of lovely little purple accents on them as well.
Yes.
Was that by choice, or was that because you'd started something and you decided to change partway through?
That's part of the Titan Legion colour scheme, the aesthetic. With the Legio Volpa, it was the way it was described, and the way I picked up on was it was almost like bruised meat.
Okay.
So because they're an up front and personal. So you've got the red, you've got the bruising. I mean, strictly the trim should be sort of a bone colour.
Yes.
So you've got that full sort of real meaty type feel, but I decided that no, I needed a slightly lighter or a subdued gold.
Okay. And so how did you do the gold? How did you get that technique? Because it's really sharp.
Yeah,
it must have taken you hours.
I did a couple with a paint, fine paintbrush, and using an air quality paint.
Okay.
So very thin,
Yeah.
easy to flow. And then I had an epiphany moment and found gold chrome pens.
Okay.
Which
and you lined it all with
and
pens?
just lined it with pens.
Okay.
And then went straight over once I'd done that, I went straight over the top with a couple of thin layers of Agrax Earthshade.
Yes.
And then I have a mix of Agrax Earthshade and Nuln Oil, 50-50 mix.
Okay.
Which gives a slightly darker, earthier.
Okay, a slightly darker effect.
So, and that's what I ended up using, going over the trim slightly into the edges of the red,
it's kind of bound it all together and made it all feel part of one thing, rather than the. I mean, it must have looked quite striking when it had the when it had the chrome or the gold on it. Without that,
I mean, it was you can see some of the gold on like the Warlord here.
It was brighter than that.
It was almost radioactive. But yeah, a couple of layers of just to shade, just to tone it down, and that's what's brought it back.
So one of the things that struck me was the amount of extra weapons you've got here.
Yes.
You decided to mount them all up on magnets.
Oh, absolutely.
You've not held back. I mean,
no.
You must have, because I'm sure the kit comes with all the weapons, but you've not gone, oh, I'll choose that and have done. You've just gone through it. You've just gone through the whole box and popped the whole lot onto magnets.
And that stems back to the original weapon options that you could get for the original Epic stuff, where you would have multitudinal weapons and metal bits and pieces that you could get from mail order, and you would then sort of go, and the ability to chop and change. With the old plastic carapaces and the plastic weapons, it was just plug and play.
It's easy to plug and play. Now, I have to say, I love plastic kits now.
Yes.
I didn't like them so much when these things were coming out, until I started playing with Titans, because what I found with Titans was they were a bit trickier to get stuck together and to stay stuck together, whereas having the magnets on this hard plastic, they're so robust, aren't they?
Yeah,
you don't break them. I mean, I know we've carefully put your old Titans out here, but we've had a few casualties getting them out the box.
Yes. I mean,
this fella here is held together with blue tack right now, and that's just storage.
It is.
Years,
I mean, these haven't seen the light of day in 20+ years, maybe even longer. And they live in a box. And one day they'll come out again and
come back out,
and they'll come back out and make an appearance somewhere on some war-torn battle table. So
we were talking about the joy of plastic versus the trials and tribulations of sticking these metal ones together. Apart from the metal ones obviously being tricky, and I'm guessing the Reavers were the worst.
The Reavers were.
What about these plastic ones? Did any of them give you any challenges?
Yes, the Warhounds gave me challenges, because the legs themselves, you can articulate them into various poses.
But you can like the old multi-pose sort of
absolutely
1/35th scale figures.
Yes. So even all of them, you can pose so that they are striding
unique.
Yeah. And it was just sitting down and going, right, I'm just going to do this. And there was blue tack, and just to make sure that, when you put something together, it gives you that motion, that it's not static, that there is something going on. It gives you that.
Well, you've done it. They look very dynamic. I mean, they're really smart. So my brother's got a couple of these Warhounds to make. He's actually got about, I think he's got at least 4 of these. And Are these the same ones as yours?
They are the same chassis,
Yes.
just with different weapons.
Okay.
So I mean, there are with the original set, you had a choice of 4 different types of weapons.
Got it. And so what we get out of here is likely to be
slightly. It's going to be slightly different weapons.
Okay. So yeah, we've got a missile launcher there. I don't think any of yours had a missile launcher.
No, I didn't.
And then, have you seen these?
The direwolves,
the direwolf
which
ones.
are the heavy support warhounds.
Have you got any of them?
I haven't. No.
Is that something you've got your eye on?
I am looking into them. I wanted
that was going to be one of my questions to you. Where are you going next?
Well,
that's
going
probably
going to be something like the. I would be looking at possibly something along the warhounds. As just a bit of extra support.
Yeah.
But probably where I stand at the moment is about as large as I'm.
You don't need to go.
Don't really need to go much further.
You might start a new legion.
I might start a new legion, and there are I think 2 other sets that I'm missing.
Okay.
The direwolves being one, and there's a variant of the Reaver chassis.
Okay.
Which has a large support weapon on the carapace.
On the top. Yeah.
And those they're realistically the only models that I'd be looking to finish off
this particular legion. And so how do the knights fit into this? So are they part of this legion?
They are a household of knights that are allied to this legion.
Okay.
And you would use those as scouting troops, because they can move that much faster. I would be using the basic Questorus knights to advance up to get to objectives. The Acastus knight, which is a heavy support, that even though it's a knight, it does have the ability to cause some serious damage to warhounds and reavers.
Yeah.
So it goes from the smaller. I mean, the Questorus are the smallest of the Titan.
But
scale.
It's an incremental. I mean,
it's an incremental.
They're really
increase.
not that much smaller.
No, there isn't. No.
When you put them next to each other, that's not much smaller than a warhound.
No.
And a lovely complementary colour, if you like, colour scheme. It's almost purple, and it's got that lovely gold trim again.
And just to try and link them together,
so
there's nothing too
beautiful,
too contrasting. I mean, there are in the lore of Titanicus, there are other legions, and their knight households have, you can have a legion that's white and blue in colour, and yet their allied knights may be green, whatever colour, whatever suits them.
Yep.
So
okay, well, look, I've got a request for you.
Oh, go on.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
We're about to get into an epic scale campaign.
Yes.
How would you feel about lending us your Titans for a battle?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no problem at all. Nothing at all. Yeah, it's use what you need to use.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Now, I hope you've enjoyed listening to Simon talk all about his Titans. I think I've got an opportunity to play a battle with these, which I'm really looking forward to now. So, I guess my best advice to you is check back soon, maybe in a couple of weeks, and see how these guys get on. And, well, we'll see them on the battlefield. Thanks very much for watching, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.